Welcome to the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. Hopefully, you would have had the opportunity to listen to the Football for Kids episode on disability football and my very special day at St George's Park to watch the Disability Cup. What an amazing day it was. If you've listened to that episode, you will know how inspired I was by all of the footballers and how lucky I felt to see it. On that day, there was one player in particular who stood out as a magnificent player and a proper leader, and that was the captain of the England Power Chair football team, Jon Bolding. So, get ready to learn about Jon and a little bit more about Power Chair football. If you haven't listened to the episode of Disability Football yet, I would very much recommend that you do so before listening to this all the way through. It'll just help you understand a little bit more about it. Right then, let's get into your shout-outs and your messages. And the first one says, "Hi Darren, I'm Harry Bryers from Cardiff and I'm coming to the end of my first year of football with my team. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, but I'm going to give it a go. The football team that Harry plays for is Lisvani Panthers under-7s. If I've got that right, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back. If not, do let me know, Harry, and I'll correct it for next time. My dad, along with a few other coaches, coach our team, and we are looking forward to our first tournament, which would have been and gone a few months ago now, because that's how long it's taking to get round to the shout-outs, because there's so many of them. Well, regardless, Harry, I hope that tournament went well, and the most important thing is that you all had fun whilst doing it. My favourite team is Spurs, says Harry, and my favourite player is Harry Kane. I love the episode that you did on him. I do, however, go to watch Cardiff City as they are local to me. When you find the time, please can you do an episode on the South Wales derby, as I recently went to this game and it was incredible because of the drama of the game, and I got a shirt given to me from one of the players at the end. Keep up the good work, and that is from Harry. Thank you very much, Harry, for your message. Thank you for being a listener. I really hope that you're looking forward to another season of football, and I really hope that you enjoy this episode. The next one says, "Hi Darren, I listen to your podcast a lot. Can you do a shout out to my friend Maddie? And can you please do an episode on Messi's puppy? I didn't know Messi had a puppy. Can you please do a part 2 on Kylian Mbappe as well? Bye Darren from Freehead." Well, a massive shout out to your friend Maddie, and I now need to go and find out about Messi's puppy. The next one says, "Hi Darren, I'm Max and I'm 10 years old. I live in Rutland and I discovered your amazing podcast a couple of weeks ago and I haven't stopped listening since. I'd love for you to give a shout out to my coaches and the players at Fiesta Mini Soccer at the Uppingham where I play every Saturday. I'm a huge Liverpool fan, but my brother Sebi likes Man City, so that causes a fair bit of family rivalry. I would love an episode about my favourite player, Alexander-Arnold, or maybe episodes about stadiums in the world. Keep up the great work, from Max." Well, Max, thank you very much for your message and thank you for being a listener. Lovely part of the world you live in, Rutland. I know it very well. What a beautiful place to live. And hopefully you very recently got the opportunity to listen to the episode which we did on Trent Alexander-Arnold. And the very last one on this episode says, "Hi, my name is Teddy Newton. I'm 6 years old and I love football and I support Manchester United. I've just started training with AFC Alsager Signets and I'm learning lots of new skills. I would like to hear a podcast about FIFA, the Xbox or PS game, Roberto Carlos, Kaká, Manchester United, the Manchester Derby and Sir Bobby Charlton. I really enjoy your podcast and I listen to them at bedtime. Thank you so very much for doing these. I learned so much from them. All the best, from Teddy Newton. Also, can you say hello to my mum, my dad, Will, George, Harper and Paddy the dog?" Well, a massive shout out to you, Teddy. Thank you for your message. And I have since seen a picture of Paddy the dog, and what a legend Paddy looks just from the picture which I've seen. A massive shout out to you, Teddy, and everybody in your family and all of your friends who love their football. Hopefully you've had a chance to listen to the episode which we did on FIFA and the Manchester Derby. Sir Bobby Charlton is on my list, so is Roberto Carlos, and so is the amazing Kaka. Right then, it's time to get into the episode about the absolutely brilliant, the inspiring Jon Bolding. Jon grew up in Feltham and lived there until he was about 22 years old. He was a massive football fan from a very young age and supported the mighty Gunners, where he was a season ticket holder and enjoyed many games at the great Highbury Stadium, a stadium where many legends did their thing. Jon was born with a condition called central core myopathy, which Jon described to me as his muscles don't grow as a normal person's does. When Jon was growing up, he used to use these things called calipers for helping him walk. These are rods that assist people with walking. Jon's parents knew how much he loved his football, and his parents really wanted to find football that Jon would be able to participate in. Jon ended up going to Wimbledon, a disability football club, which was a place where many of those with a disability could play football together, and he did this for a number of years. Then, in 2001, a power chair footballer came over to England from Japan and introduced England football to the game. The people from Middlesex Football put on a power chair football tournament, which was basically a bit of a taster tournament. Jon played in the taster tournament, and the power chair football which he experienced then is very different to what it is today. Jon and the other players would use NHS wheelchairs and have a tyre on the front, and rather than fling the ball about like they do these days with such speed and accuracy, it would be more a case of pushing it into the net. 2 weeks after playing in that tournament, Jon received a phone call, a very good phone call, and he was asked if he wanted to go and play in Japan, an amazing opportunity and a great experience for anyone. The following year, in 2002, Jon's club, Middlesex, formed. Since then, power chair football has grown in a big way and developed as a game and as a sport. These days, there are leagues, Champions Leagues, tournaments, Euros, and even World Cups. The game has grown so much more than what Jon really ever imagined it to do so. Jon thoroughly enjoyed playing the game and loved being part of a team. He'd loved football since being a kid. This was a breath of fresh air for him. Unfortunately, Jon and the other power chair footballers don't get the luxury of the mega money playing power chair football, so he has to work full time, and his team only get to train together once a week on a Sunday. This is one of the challenges that disabled footballers face, as the likes of Jon can't get down to their local park to have a kickabout. They need a large space where they can set up their goals and pitches and have several power wheelchairs zooming about, passing the ball to each other and scoring wicked goals. Also, because the power chair footballers don't get the funds that the professional footballers do, they have to fund their own equipment. And Jon, at present, is trying to raise some funds to get a new Strike Force sports chair to play in the Sydney World Cup. If there are any adults listening who are able to support Jon, the link is in the description of this episode. Jon and his power chair football teammates have managed to travel the world and played in a series of World Cups, including another trip to Japan, one in Paris and one in Florida in America. Jon told me that Florida in America was a very special place for him to visit. He had such an amazing time when he was there, and America is a place which holds a very special place in his heart. Power chair football is booming, and these days there are about 500 players playing across over 100 teams. And this year, in October 2023, the Power Chair Football Cup is to be held in Sydney, Australia. And Jon and his England teammates will travel across the world to represent their country and do the nation proud. Jon has inspired many people who have had the pleasure of watching him in his sport, and he will continue to do so as his passion for power chair football grows. I hope that you've enjoyed listening and learning about the brilliant Jon Bolding. And remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.